Hi, I am talking today to Luke, who is a triple memory master for classical conversations. And he has agreed to let me interview him so that we can pick his brain and learn about the amazing journey that he underwent this year. Thank you so much, Luke, for taking the time to talk to me today.
You're welcome.
So, well, tell me what title you hold, and can you tell me what that means?
So I'm a triple memory master, which is basically a memory master. So first, let's talk about memory master. A memory master is basically someone who you have to memorize over about like 300 or so facts of history, timeline, science, Latin, English, math, and geography. And then the foundation's curriculum has 3 cycles. So basically you have to memorize each of the 3 cycles in one sitting, basically.
Okay, so this is the foundation's curriculum. And then every year there are 3 cycles that rotate. Each year you're in a different cycle. So here's just a snapshot of the proof pages. If you were testing for Memory Master, it shows all the math that you have to learn. There is Latin. This is cycle 1 that I'm holding up. There's 24 science facts to memorize. There's English grammar and the timeline and history. And then all of this, being able to locate all of this on the map, geography. So that's one cycle. So somebody who was a memory master this year for cycle 1 would have had to been able to tell back all of that information. But you didn't do that. You didn't do cycle 1 memory master. What did you do?
So basically there's 3 cycles, each with different facts, and you have to say, and you have to memorize and say all of them in one sitting, basically, which is what I did.
Wow. So I have a lot of questions for you. Let me see, where should we start? When did you decide that this was something you wanted to do? When did you set this as a goal?
Well, actually, the first year I been in CC, which was probably like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. I decided, because I heard about this thing called Memory Master, and I didn't know what it was, but I thought I might go for it, but I didn't really know how. So the next year, I decided to actually ask the director, Miss Liz, is to see how to do it and like what you have to do. And then that's when I decided I think I'll just go for it. And later on, like the next year, I decided, well, actually a few months later, so I did it on cycle 2.
So the first year you did a memory master was not your first year in CC, it was your second.
It was my second year in CC.
And that was cycle 2, and you were a cycle 2 memory master? Okay.
Yes. But then I missed cycle 1. So I decided to do this cycle 1 in the same year. So
while you were doing cycle 2, you did cycle 1.
So I did cycle 2. And then after that, since I missed cycle 1, I went back and did cycle 1. So, and then the next year I did cycle 3. And then I was like, I heard about the Triple Crown Memory Master. And then I was like, this might be a good thing to challenge myself to do, to see what I can do.
Okay. So you just decided to do 1 because you missed it and because you're ambitious and you like to learn?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you were a cycle 3 memory master the following year?
Yes.
Okay. So you did cycle 2, you went back and learned cycle 1, you did cycle 3, and you were like, I might as well. They're going to have this competition and I can do it. That is so amazing. What motivated you to do it? Do you love to memorize stuff? Do you find the curriculum very interesting?
I just like learning, and I like to challenge myself, and like this was like a good um challenge to see like how much I could challenge myself, and then also it would help me for like when I get into the higher years as for challenge A, challenge B, because since my brother's a challenge B student, he always tells me that you have to draw the map at freehand and in challenge A and all that stuff. So I'm like, it's a good way to help me to how do I say it? To like it helps prepare me for the years ahead.
Yeah,
Basically.
that's great. So people that know you did this have so many questions, and one question was, how often did you study?
Well,
And I think we have to go back to when you became first a cycle 2 memory master, and then how long did it take you to do cycle 1 on your own, not even with the community?
yeah.
Like, how long did it take you to do all of this? It's a lot of questions.
So cycle 2, I was just getting used to it. So it took me like about a few months, like 3 months to practice, or 2 or 3 months to practice. And like I had to be like diligent, and I had to like really work on it and keep it as like a big priority. So I had to practice like at least an hour each day, because
Okay. So when you were going to be a cycle 2 memory master, you studied for about an hour a day?
yeah.
Okay. So that was your second year of CC. And did you study an hour a day from the beginning of the school year, or toward the end when you made this decision to be a memory master?
Toward the end, when I started to become a memory master. Well, that is for the national memory master, and for the memory master.
Okay. So before you decided you were going to go for it, are you a pretty good student? Do you study the memory work at home each week as it's introduced, like in the beginning weeks?
Yeah.
Because that obviously that helps. It's not, you're not trying to cram everything into your brain at the last minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you study? What do you do? Do you just say the things over and over again? Do you sing the songs that CC provides that help make it easier? Who helps you?
So having a parent there to quiz me definitely helped. But I liked multitasking, which was like I like doing something while I memorize. So I would just like have the paper in front of me. So like I would like ride my bike, or like I go on my hoverboard and stuff while I memorize.
So you didn't like to just be still. You liked to involve movement in your studying.
Yeah. And then also the songs helped. And some of them were very catchy, and then some of them were,
Not so much, right? Because I have a question for you in regards to that. And I was going to ask you if you have a favorite piece from each subject. Do you have a favorite history sentence, a favorite science, or something that sticks out that you really like?
Like I really like the periodic table of elements. I don't know why, I just like them. So like in cycle 3, the first 4 elements in the periodic table, the first, second, and third 4 elements in the periodic table, those were cool. And then I also, in history, I like the Mexican Revolution song, which we did at the end of the year for the end of the year celebration.
What about in the math?
Yeah, I like the math because there was also this this channel on YouTube called King Things, which had like multiplication songs, and it had resources that helped you with multiplication for CC, and then it also had other stuff like John 1:1 to 7 in English and Latin, which helped with Latin, in memorizing that. It had the Proverbs 25, which my brother used to memorize that when he was in Challenge A.
So you're going to be ready for that when it's your turn, right? You're going to know Proverbs 25.
Yeah, my mom said if we memorized it, she'll give us $25.
Wow, that sounds good.
So-
It paid for your time and your effort. Nice. So do you feel like it was hard? Or do you feel like, obviously it was hard because it's a big goal you set, but did you feel as though you broke it up into enough bite-sized pieces that it felt doable, or did it ever feel overwhelming to you?
I mean, it definitely sometimes did feel overwhelming, but like when I was going through the actual test, because like when they're actually quizzing you, because like when when you're doing it, the thing that's always going through your brain is don't mess up, people are watching. So like it's yeah.
And if you're thinking about that, you're almost certain to mess up, right?
Yeah.
So did you ever just think maybe this goal is too big and I actually don't want to do this? Or did you always stay firm in that?
I always stayed, like sometimes I would just like be like, oh, this is really hard, but I would pray and ask God to help me also.
That's amazing. He helps us do hard things, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think this is doable for other kids, or do you just think that maybe you're special? And when I say special, I mean you could have a quick intellect where you are capable of memorizing things easily, or you could just have a super strong work ethic that maybe other people don't have. So
I think it's just really the work you put into it, because like it really like you could, like some people like they could memorize faster, but it doesn't really matter how easily you memorize. It's just like because anyone can really do basically like stuff, but as long as you put in the work to do it, then I think you can do it.
okay, that's encouraging. People want to know, what did you use? What were your resources? And then yeah, how did you study? You had to do timeline. Let me ask you that first. You had to be able to say the timeline forward and backward. Tell me about that and how you even began to do that.
So the timeline was forward. It like the timeline song definitely helped. It really helped to it helped me to memorize, because then because it's just like memorizing a song basically.
A very long
and then
song.
yeah, a 13-minute and like 70 something seconds, I think, song.
Yeah, it's a long song.
Yeah, but yeah, it's basically like memorizing the song. But then when it comes to backwards, it's like you memorize. It's like you spend like years or months or weeks memorizing something, but then you realize then you also have to do it the same thing, but then you have to do it backwards. So you're so it was hard, but and like but what helped me was like sometimes if like say I didn't know, like I could just go back. So say I was saying from age of 8, say I was doing Indus River Valley Civilization back to Age of Ancient Empires. If I didn't remember what was before, I could think in my mind, wait, what comes before? What other things that I know comes before it? So like I could say like I know Egyptians comes before that. So then I know Mesopotamia and Sumer comes before that. So I just say it forward in my head, and sometimes, and then when I remember the one, then I just say it.
You are a 3-time memory master, but you also competed in the National Memory Master competition with how many other kids?
16 other finalists.
16 other kids from the United States. So we have
Yes.
two things going on here with you that go together. So I don't want people to be confused. So to be a triple memory master, you don't have to say it backwards. This is for
No,
the
this
competition.
is for the actual competition. So that the National Memory Master competition is basically, it's just like triple memory master, triple crown memory master, but more intimidating, and also it has more stuff to it. Like in just triple crown, you'd have to like point to the, like they'll tell you what to point to in geography, and then you'd have to point to it. In National Memory Master, you have to draw the entire world map from memory, and then label it, including the 50 states, and then you'd have to do some of the rivers, some of the U.S. trails, some of the U.S. Great Lakes.
You
And
have
then,
to label all the things that are on the 3 cycles of geography. Is that what you had to label?
yes,
Everything
yes, plus more.
plus more.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. How do you prepare to draw the world from memory? How did you do that?
So basically, what I started doing is just tracing the map with tracing paper, and I would do that a few times for a few weeks, and then I felt comfortable. So then I started it, instead of actually tracing it, I would look at the map, but on a separate piece of paper. I would look at the map and then write it, and write it on without, so like I was looking at the map, but I wasn't tracing it. So
you're looking at it and drawing
yeah.
it yourself. How
Yeah.
much time did you spend? When did you start preparing for that part of? When did you start preparing for that portion of the competition?
Well, basically, when I heard about it, then I was like, oh no, I didn't realize that I had to actually do that. So, like when I realized what was actually in like the harder stages, then I started practicing for those.
When was that? When did you hear about it and start practicing this harder stuff?
Well, I learned about the competition and altogether like about 3 months before. Well, no, maybe like 5 months before the competition.
Okay.
So but like I didn't really know all the details about it. I just knew that certain stuff. And certain things about it. So when I found out about like more of the things, like I thought I only had to say John 1:1-7 in Latin. I didn't know I had to do it in English, because funny story, I learned in John 1:1-7 in Latin, but I didn't know it in English. This was funny.
That is funny. So you had to learn that.
Yeah, because I would always say in Latin, but I never actually like would say it in English. So I had to learn it in English because I learned it in Latin, but never actually learned it in
Latin first. So that probably helps your Latin now to start learning in English, right? That's
yeah.
so funny.